Hello everyone, welcome to today's webinar which is on the topic Microsoft Identity and Access Management. So let me introduce myself. My name is Dipanshu Mittal. I am certified Microsoft trainer from GTechLearn, which is gold partner of Microsoft. So before starting, please confirm my screen is visible to all of you. Please confirm in chat box. Okay, thank you so much for confirming. So let's move forward. So here is our agenda, what we have to study today. Will be introduction, like what is security, means what is identity, what is capabilities of Microsoft Identity Access Management. So after that, there will be Azure Active Directory, then identity types in Azure Active Directory, then multi-factor authentication, then Sspr and password protection, then conditional access policy, identity governance, then there will be PIM, then there will be some demos based on these topics we will discuss. Then there will be a 5 minutes question answer session. So the whole timing of webinar is 45 minutes and the last 5 minutes will be question answer session where you can ask question in chat box. I will give my best to solve your query. So let's move. So the first thing is Azure Active Directory. So Azure Active Directory is a Microsoft's cloud-based identity and access management services. So basically organization use Azure Active Directory to enable their employees, guests, and other users to sign in and access the resources they need. So they can be internal resources such as apps on your corporate network and internet and cloud apps developed by your own organization. You can also access to the resources of external services like Microsoft Office 365, Azure Portal, or any software as a service application used by your organization. Basically, what does Azure AD do? Basically, it simplifies the way organizations manage authorization and access by providing a single identity system for their cloud and on-premises application. It can be synchronized with the existing on-premises Active Directory and with the other directory services. So this was all about a brief introduction of Azure Active Directory. After that, there is a identity type in Azure. So there are different types of identity based on user, service principal, managed identities, and devices. So we will see, for example, user. The user is a representation of something that is managed by Azure AD. So basically in an organization, employees and guests which are represented as a user in Azure AD. So if you have several users with same access needs, you can create a group to that particular kind of user. So group allows you to assign access permission to all the members under that group. After that, there is a service principal. Service principal means it is a security identity used by application or service to access specific Azure resource. You can think like that key your service principal is a identity for an application. After that, there is a managed identity. Managed identity is an identity in Azure Active Directory that is automatically managed by Azure. So this was all about identities. So let's move forward. So after that, there is a different kinds of authentication methods of Azure. For example, let's say some organization just use passwords, but password may be problematic for users because they can be easily compromised. But multi-factor authentication requires more than one kind of verification to prove that an identity is legitimate, such as a trusted device or a fingerprint. So in Azure Active Directory, multi-factor authentication works by requiring three factors, like something you know, something you have, and something you are. So something you know means you can have password, you can have PIN, or you can have any key or something like that. So you can access to that. After that, something you are means you have such a trusted device or such a trusted server from usually you log in, and something you are means you can use a fingerprint, you can use a face scan, you can use your voice command. So this is a multi-factor authentication. So this was all about multi-factor authentication. So after that, there is a SSPR. So there is another feature given in Microsoft Azure, which is SSPR. So it is a feature of Azure AD that allows users to change or reset their password without administrator or help desk involvement. For example, if a user's account is logged or unfortunately they forgot their password, so they can follow a proper protocol to reset their password and get back to work. So it has their own benefit, like administrator can change setting to accommodate new security requirement and roll these changes out to users without disrupting their signing. It also saves the organization money by reducing the number of calls and requests to help desk staff. Also, it increases the productivity, allowing the users that can get back to work faster. So this was all about SSPR. After that, there is a password protection and management capabilities of Azure AD. So what does it do? It is a feature of Azure AD, excuse me, which reduce the risk of users setting weak password. So it detects and blocks known weak password and their variant, and can also block the additional weak terms that are specific to your organization. So it can be a global banned password list. So it is that kind of list with known weak password is automatically updated and enforced by Microsoft. Means if you try to set a password from that list, it will not accept it. After that, custom banned password list. In this banned password list, it can be brand name, product name, location, such as company's headquarter location or some corporate offices location, company specific internal teams location or names, abbreviation that have specific company's meaning. So these are the feature of uh, this password protection and management capabilities of Azure AD. Apart from that, uh, this banned password list are only a feature of Azure AD Premium 1 and 2. Means you have to purchase Azure AD Premium 1 or 2 to get the benefit of this password protection banned password list. After that, we move to next topic, which is conditional access. So conditional access is a feature of Azure AD that provides an additional layer of security before allowing authenticated user to access data or other asset. So it is implemented through a policy that are created and managed under Azure AD. So it analyzes the signal including user, location, device, application, and risk to automate decision for authorizing access to resources. So it can use different signals such like that user. So policy can be targeted to specific user or a specific group. It can be used as a named location information by creating using a proper IP address range. So it can be based on device, like means your resource can be accessible from particular device only. So this was all about conditional access and we will see the demo of how we can implement conditional access policy. So moving to next, there is a Azure Active Roles. So Azure Active Directory roles gives you permission to manage Azure Active Directory resources, such as allowing user account to be created or billing information viewed. So it also supports built-in role and custom roles. So there are common built-in roles like global administrator, user administrator, or billing administrator. So they have their own different limitation. So after that, you can create a custom role according to their accessibility. So this was all about conditional access policy. So after that, there is a identity governance. So identity governance means it gives the organization the ability to go on the identity life cycle, after go on the access life cycle, and after that it secures the privileged access for administration. For example, you can see this diagram. Like for example, a person enters in an organization, so he has been given a role of reader. So at the reader role, he can read all the resources, he can read globally under an organization. After that, he got promoted to second position, where he was a contributor. So now he can add some resources, or he can do changes in some resources with its limitation, whatever role he's been given. So he can do the task. After that, he got retired. After retirement, he has no access. Means this is the identity governance model by Azure AD. So after that, there is another feature of security in Azure Active Directory, which is known as PIM. PIM means Privileged Identity Management. So it is a service in Azure Active Directory that enables you to manage, control, and monitor access to important resources in your organization. So these includes resources in Azure Active Directory, as well as Azure and other Microsoft online services such as Microsoft 365 or Microsoft Intune. So there are some features of PIM. The first one is like it can give you access for just in time. Like when you need, you just get the access, not before that and not after that. After that, there is a time bound access, means you can start enter end and start time, and during that time period a particular person can access to your resource. After that, there is a approval based means you need a specific approval to activate that privilege access. After that, visible means like if you have given someone access and they go to that resource, then you will get the notification that someone you have given access and is now accessing your resource. After that, auditable. Auditable means like if you have given someone PIM and they go to the resource, you will have the information that what time they entered the infrastructure, and what did they do for how much duration they were in that particular resource. So this was all about the capabilities of privileged identity management. So let's move to our next slide, which is a demo. So there are 4 demos, which first one is Azure Active Directory walkthrough, then conditional access policy. We will create a conditional access policy, then role-based access policy, role-based access control, then there will be privileged identity management. So firstly, let's go to our Azure portal. Just give me a second. I hope my Azure portal is visible to all of you. Just refresh it. Okay, the first thing we'll walk through Azure Active Directory. Just search here Azure. You can see that in services. So here you can see the overview here, tenant ID, primary domain here. You can see the license here. So you can see users here. I have created some users earlier just for a reference, like demo, RBAC1, RBAC2, and RBAC3. Moving back to Active Directory, you can create a group as well. So in a group, you can put single type of users, like to implement a single type of policy there. After that, external identities, roles and administrators. After that, administrative units, even you can see all these all are the features. You can see properties as well. So here, our next practical is we will put a conditional access policy. So to put conditional access policy, firstly we have to disable the security defaults of Azure Active Directory. Here you can see the security as well, where we will see conditional access policy, how to implement it. Firstly, we will disable the security defaults. Just go for manage security default. Click on no. Just give it a reason, like my organization is using conditional access, and hit on save. So now we have disabled the security defaults. Let's go to home page and refresh the page. For that, just go to Azure Active Directory. We will put the conditional access policy on the basis of location. For that, firstly, go to security. In a security, go to named location first. So here there is a no named location. So just add a named location here. Name this location and enter country, from which country you need to block the location. I am selecting India here. You can select any country. You can select multiple countries as well. So just hit on create. So now location, country, IP created. Now go to conditional access. There is no policy. So just click on new policy and create a new policy. Under a new policy, just give it a name, location policy. Okay. So under assignment, select a user. So here I am selecting a user. So here I am selecting this particular user. So under this, I am selecting all clouds app, means all the clouds app access from India will be blocked. After that, condition. Under condition, I am selecting location. So under location, I am configuring yes. Then selected location. I am selecting this location we have created and select. After that, in access control, there will be three options like block access, grant access, and grant access if they do MFA. So here I am blocking the access. So leave session as blank, and here put on, and then hit on create. So now we can say that see that location policy has been enabled in a few minutes. If you have enabled policy set to on, just refresh the page, it will be enabled. So we will log into that particular user to which we have applied the location policy. For that, just copy the username of that user. Here it is. Just open a private tab. Under private tab, just go for portal.azure.com. Just enter the password. So here it is showing that your account or password is incorrect. Just let me reset the password. You can reset it. Just copy it. Go back to. So you can see that you cannot access this right now because your sign-in was successful but does not meet the criteria to access this resource. For example, you might be signing in from browser, app, or location that is restricted by your admin. So you can see that you cannot access to that resource. Now, going back to our main Azure portal, now we will disable that policy. For that, just go to Azure Active Directory, go to security, go to conditional access, in location policy, just set it to off and save. Now, just go to Azure Active Directory, go to user, just go back to Azure portal, just refresh the page. Sometimes it can take 5 to 10 minutes to update the policy. Let's check whether we can now sign in or not. Enter the password again. Okay, it's taking some time to updating the policy. Let's wait for 1 or 2 minutes. Just close this. Let's check whether policies. Go to Azure Active Directory, go to security, and see conditional access. Its status is off now. Let's go again. Let's see whether we can access or not. So just enter the password, newly created password. Now you can see that now you can log into that particular username. So here we can see that how we can create a conditional access policy based on different factors. Here I have shown you how we can create a conditional access policy based on a location. So this was how we can create a conditional access policy. Just in the password. So now you can see that Okay. So it is giving error. So after 5 or 10 minutes, it will be disabled. So moving back to our Azure portal. So this was all about how we can create a conditional access policy. Even you can delete that policy going on Azure Active Directory at security. So firstly, you will delete name location here, just delete it. Then you can delete the conditional policy also. After that, we will see how we can control a role-based access control. For that, just let's make a resource group first. Just hit on create here. org, and create and create. So now just go to the resource. You can put RBAC policy at any level, like subscription level, at resource level, at resource group level. Here I am putting it at resource group level. Just go to access control, and here even you can check your own role as well. Here you can see that your role is service administrator. So just add role, add a role assignment. So we are giving a role of owner to RBAC 1. So we are giving a role of contributor to RBAC 2. Just review and assign. After that, we are giving third role of reader to RBAC 3. So now you can see that we have given 3 roles: owner role to RBAC 1, reader role to RBAC 3, so RBAC 2 role is not showing here. Just refresh the page. Now go to roles. Now you can see that RBAC 2 has been given with the role of contributor. Now we will check the limitations and whether they are really applicable or not. So firstly, we'll go for RBAC 3. For that, just go to RBAC 3. Its username. Just go to tab. Just put the username here. Enter the password. So now just go to demo.rg. So here, just go to access control. Here you check my access. Here you have given the role of reader to that RBAC 3, and here it is showing reader. Now at overview, just click on resource group. just click on enter demo.rg and hit on delete. Now you can see that failed to delete that source group demo.rg because this users with object ID does not have authorization to perform the action. So here you can see that how we can control a role-based access control. Now just signing it out and logging in with another user RBAC2 as a contributor. For that, just go to role assignment. So go to RBAC2. So just copy its username, going back to private tab, add another account. So just let's reset its password, reset password, just copy it, enter here, enter again, then the new password, enter new password again. So now you are able to log in. After that, we'll go to resource group. So under resource group, you can see your access. You have given the contributor role. So now let's see whether it can delete the resource group or not. Just go to overview, hit on delete. So you can see that you can delete, now it can delete the resource group if you have given a role of contributor to that particular user. So this was all about how we can create a role-based access control, assigning a different roles. So now moving back to our PPT again, just closing it. Just refresh the page. Now, so last demo is about privileged identity management. For that, just go back to Azure portal, go to Azure Active Directory. Under Azure Active Directory, under Manage section, go to Identity Governance. So under Identity Governance section, you will see Privileged Identity Management. So go to Azure AD roles. So under this, you can see my roles as well. So you can see that your own role is Global Administrator at Directory, direct membership assigned and permanent. You can't deactivate it. So just go back, go to Azure AD roles, and then go to assignment, go to add assignment. At add assignment, just give a role of global administrator. Basically, this type of PIM is used if the global administrator is going somewhere or not available, so he wants to give his powers to someone else for a particular time, you can use this feature. So here I am giving this feature to demo and select and click on next. So at eligible, so you can assign it for permanent as well, or you can give it start date and end date. Here I am giving it this time and date, or you can just go on permanent, go on assign. So now you can see there the demo users have been given with a global administrator, but it is not active yet. For that, just copy the username of demo user. Just go to private tab, open here Azure portal. Enter the password. If you forgot the password, you can reset it as well. So here just go to Azure Active Directory. Just sign in again. It is asking for sign in. Go to identity governance. Under identity governance, go to Azure AD role. Just give me a second. Just close the tab and open it again. Just actually we have created a conditional access policy in this user, so it can take sometime it will take 30 minutes or 40 minutes to change the policy, so that's why it is showing there, but we can access to that users as well, so there may be some glitch there. So going again to Active Directory, so going to identity governance. Under identity governance, go to Azure AD role. Under Azure AD role, my role. So here we have to activate it. So for that, we have to do some additional verification here. So You can set by authentication app, or I am here. Just give me a minute. So I'm just scanning it. Just give me a second. So here I scan. So now I am entering a code. Just refreshing 404755 and to next. You can different authentication app for that. So now it's validating the request. Now you can give it in any reason, then activate. It's just activating here. So this is how you can activate a Azure role. So after that, moving back to our Azure portal, under Azure Active Directory, then identity governance. So under Azure AD roles, at Azure AD roles, so after activating there, you can see that now there are two active assignments. So this is how you can use the PIM in Azure Active Directory. Now moving back to our PPT again. So this was all about demos and practicals. Now moving to next. So please open your QR scanner code in your smartphone and scan the code where you can see the upcoming webinars provided by GTechLearn, or you can register yourself by given link, which is gtechlearn.com/webinars.aspx, where you can see timings and content of upcoming webinars, where you can see also the dates and register yourself. So thank you for attending today's webinar. So now this is the question answer time. You can ask a question regarding the topics we discussed so far. So you can put the questions in chat box. I am waiting for your questions. So we go to the first question. So first question is, after hearing of a security breach at a competitor, you want to improve identity security within your organization. What should you implement immediately to provide the greatest protection to user identities? So the best solution of this situation is that you can activate multi-factor authentication. It will dramatically improve the security of an identity. So understand that? Okay. So next question, please. So here we got the next question. You have been asked to find a way to reduce IT costs without compromising security. Which feature should you consider implementing? So here we can implement self-service password reset, because it allows users to change or reset their own password thereby reducing the cost of providing administrators and help desk persons. So this is the best solution to reduce the IT cost without compromising the security. I hope this finds you well. So you can go for next question if you have any. And due to shortage of time, this is the last question. Okay, good. So the question is, your organization has recently conducted a security audit and found that the 4 people who have left the organization were still active and assigned global admin roles. The users have now been deleted and you have been asked to recommend a solution to prevent a similar security lapse happening in the future. Which solution should you recommend? So the best solution for this kind of situation is you can do privileged identity management. So it will ultimately mitigate the risk of excessive, unnecessary, and misuse access permission. So you can be time bound PIM. So this is the way you can prevent from similar kind of security lapse. So okay, so let's end here the today's webinar. So thank you for attending. I hope I have given the best answers to your query. So see you in our upcoming webinars. Thank you so much.